Good afternoon, and welcome to day 42 of our second annual WSOP Daily Spaces coverage. I'm Sherry Pluskota, and Brian is getting ready for day 2 of the WSOP main event. So hopefully he'll join us for a few minutes today, but don't hold your breath. Also, our birthday girl, Dark Angel, happy birthday to you. I don't expect her to be on with us this morning because she is with family and possibly traveling home today. So I don't expect her to join us today either. Many thanks to our sponsor, Elevator Results. If you need a tailor made workout plan to help you lose weight or gain weight, Elevator Results can help design that plan. Follow them on Twitter and check out their website at elevatorresultspt.com. Please be reminded you can find the recordings of our past spaces on my YouTube channel at Sherry Pluskota 9212. Please make sure to subscribe to my channel. I'm going to wait a minute. Hopefully Brian will be connecting here for a minute. In a minute. Are you there, bud? A little shout out to our sponsors of the Splash the Pots for our meetup game that we had at the Sahara Poker Room. I just think it's always nice to shout them out since they did so much for us. So our sponsors were Nat's Dogs, Christy at Pretty and Pink Poker, South Point Poker Room, Jim at Rec Poker, and Donna. So many thanks to the sponsors of our Splash the Pot that we had at our meetup game. Hey, Rick, how are you this morning?
Good morning. I am still recovering from a week in Vegas.
How's your son doing?
He made it to day 3.
Sweet. What's he got in his bag?
Nothing, only like 95,000, but a chip and a chair.
Hey,
You know,
95 is nothing to be mad about. That's for sure.
That's why I'm so tired. At 3:30 in the morning, he's sending me a picture of the bag. So it's because we're back in Florida. So it's like
Right.
Kept getting the updates all night. So his aces got cracked at the end because he was up to 160 something, I think, and of course your big hands have to hold up in a big tournament like this. So it's unfortunate, but at least he's still there. He's making day 3.
Hey, that's awesome. I'm glad you had a fun time in Vegas.
Oh, we did. We really did. With my grandson and granddaughter, was just great. Good time. How about you? How was your time?
I'm going to tell you, I had so much fun, but when I got home, I definitely was like, you know what? For the WSOP, maybe not at other times when I go to Vegas throughout the year, but when I go for the WSOP, it's got to be 2 weeks at least. I just didn't have enough time. I didn't get to see many of the people I wanted to. I didn't get to have dinner with many of the people I wanted to. And, so time was too short, I think, for me.
I understand, believe me, because it was basically the trip was to support Eric in the main event, but to also celebrate the graduations of our 2 grandchildren, which we did in big style. We had a lot of fun. So
that's awesome.
That was nice.
Very cool. Very cool. Are they going off to college or trade school? Or?
No, well, my one grandson just graduated from ASU, from the Walter Cronkite School of Journalism, and he's been working in radio for a long time. When Eric was in radio, Eric was able to get him inside, and so he's been working in radio for about 8 years. And he wants to write, and he's terrific. He's a terrific young man, and he has 2 offers from 2 different radio stations right now that he's mulling over. So he is going to land on his feet after graduating. And my granddaughter graduated from 8th grade. She starts high school July 15th in Arizona.
July 15th, not even August 15th?
I know. I couldn't believe it. July 15th.
Wow.
Did you tell him the main event isn't even over by July 15th? How are you going to go to high school?
I know. Isn't that something? It was like I was stunned,
Now, here in Georgia, we have gone back the last week of July before, but never as early as July 15th. Wow.
Yeah, it's crazy in Arizona. So,
wow.
so she's going to be a high schooler. So it's going to be
Well,
fun.
congrats to them. And I know you're
Yes.
a proud grandpa, and I'm sure you had a blast with the kids this past week.
We sure did. We sure did. It was fun listening to you guys do your updates on the World Series. It was good stuff. Really good stuff. So,
Well, thank you, Rick. I appreciate those kind words for sure. And good morning, software. How are you?
I'm great. Ready for day 2.
Let's go.
We got Martin Jacobson at our table. So we're going to take all of his chips
I
and
like it.
everyone else's at the table. Probably end the day with about 1.2 million, and
I think it's going to be 1.5 personally.
1.5, all right. Could be.
Yeah, I had that number in my head for some reason today.
I kept having this weird dream that somehow I was on the show Jeopardy on my day off from the World Series, which
I love it.
I would be the worst person on that show ever because I have no knowledge of any of that stuff. And somehow I had like sandals on. And then I came back for the second day of taping, and they didn't tell me that you were supposed to change. So I had the same outfit. So, Sherry, should I wear the same outfit as day 1 to the main event, or?
I was a baseball coach at one point in my life, and we're very superstitious baseball coaches, so we wore the same thing every game, and I was undefeated, 17-0 that season. So,
wow. And you stunk.
well, I didn't say I didn't wash it. I just said I wore it every game.
She said they were 17-0, Rick. I mean, come
wow.
on. That
Wearing
doesn't
the same
stink.
outfit
That's
for 17.
Yeah, but
Hockey players are the same way. They don't shave.
Right.
That's why they all have their beards until they win the Stanley Cup.
So you see, Brian, we're telling you have to wear the same thing you wore on.
So if I don't win the main event, I can't shave.
No, you have to shave, and you can't shave until you do win the main event.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's pretty. That's some extra incentive.
Yeah,
for sure.
I love it. I love it. Well, we have to say good morning and happy birthday to the birthday girl, Donna Morton.
Donna, Donna.
Hey, thank you.
You're welcome.
Your laugh. I love your laugh.
Are you traveling home today? Did you get home already? What are you doing?
I'm home now.
Okay, good. Safe and sound.
Yes.
Okay, good. I told you should have had that Brazilian before you left, but we'll talk about that later.
What was his name?
Yeah.
Holy
No,
cow.
I played Dead Possum. I played Roadkill Dead Possum.
Whoa.
It wasn't happening.
Wow.
That may have been too much information.
That is some kinky stuff.
Don't encourage her.
Oh, Brian.
So Donna, the Brits are doing pretty good in Euro 24, huh?
Yeah.
Good. They made it to the finals. Good for them.
Yep.
And my boy Trent Alexander-Arnold got the final penalty kick to win that game. He's a Liverpool kid, plays for Liverpool and was born and raised in Liverpool. So.
Yeah.
I'm really proud of him. Go England.
Exactly.
So Sherry, the kid to my right the other day, he was kind of aggravated and said that I was thought I was a pro and all this stuff. So I went over and I got Chad gave me a Poker News podcast patch at the break, and I put a poker org patch. Came back all patched up. He almost lost it. He told me, you beat me in every pot, and you're probably going to have like 200,000 by the end of the day, and you're going to go and you're going to think that you're a good player.
He said that to you?
Yeah, it was
jackass.
It was an epic Phil Hellmuth rant, which it was great because he's two to my right, and I was like, that is the guy you do want to piss off.
Hell
for
yeah,
sure.
you do. Do you get every one of his damn shits?
Yeah.
Hey, Blue. Hope you're having a good morning already. All right, let's talk about some of the folks that played day 2 in the main event yesterday. So moving on to day 3 is our friend Brad Nesser. He's going into day 3 with 26,500 in chips. So he took a little bit of a beating yesterday at the felt, but hopefully he's going to spin that up at the beginning of day 3 so that he can enjoy day 3 without stressing about being a short stack. I don't have an update on Reno Grinder, so if somebody does, let me know. Raja's kicking butt. He's going into day 3 with 355K. So go, Raja, go. And unfortunately, Jeff Stillwagon is out. He 5-bet jammed his Jack
Oh,
into ace 2 of diamonds and lost that hand. So his main event dreams got squashed. And I don't know how many fucking times I have to say, fucking just lay down the jacks. Okay. My friend Maureen, who guest co-hosted with us a couple weeks back, sent me a message saying that she got taken out of the Ultra Stack tournament yesterday with Jack. Big surprise here. Not. So anyway, the curse of the jacks live on. Whether you have them or they have them, they're just cursed. So anyway, I don't have any other updates on anyone else that played day 2 yesterday. If you do, please let us know.
do you want to hear a very funny Mike Sexton Jack story?
Yes.
You know, when we were doing the Skywin Poker Challenge at what is now the Hard Rock in Tulsa, Oklahoma, he was so gracious. He was doing a WPT event overseas, and he flew in overnight to be there for his $5,000 main event. And he made it to we had a big dinner for everybody before the event. He made it for the dinner, and then he had a crash. He was just wiped out. So he gets down to the final table in the event, and I come walking back into the poker area from my office, and Sexton's coming at me just steaming, saying, "I should have gotten away from those jacks. I should have gotten away from those jacks."
That's my point exactly.
It was so funny.
Point exactly.
Oh God.
But we all know you got to do what you got to do in that moment, right?
Yep, that's right.
I mean, that's just the flipping way it goes. All right. I looked at the WSOP main event this morning at the numbers, and I'm just going to tell you, I'm not sure what's going on with the updating of the website with the numbers, but right now, the numbers are all screwy. So I am not even going to report the numbers for the main event because some of them aren't even there. So we're going to move on to event number 82, which was the $1,000 no limit tournament. It had 1.2 million in the prize pool, and the winner is, and I'm just going to spell his name. It's Aditya Argua from India. Took home 189,000 in the gold bracelet for winning that tournament. And Augusto Hagen from Argentina took second place for 126,000. Any comments, Brian?
He took 126,000.
Yes, for second place.
Oh, excellent. Always good to get close. I mean, frustrating to some extent. You can't let poker come down to that though, like a win or win the tournament or you're miserable kind of mentality. So, because there's way more times that you're not going to win the tournament.
Right. There's only one winner. And if there's 1,424 people in the prize pool, in the entries, 1,423 are first losers or on.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
So only one winner, people. All right. Event number 83 is the $1,500 8-game mix. There is 659K in the prize pool. 494 entries, 103 are left. They will be in the money at the 75th place. They will receive At that point, 3K. First place will take home 131K. Second place will take home 85K. Right now, our chip leader is Marco Johnson with 325,000. He's from the US. And Victor Blom from Sweden has 296K. Some notables, of course, our pick for induction number one for this year into the Hall of Fame, John Cernuto, is in there with 145K going into day two. And John Racier has 103K. And Josh Aria, a friend of Spaces, has 93K going into day two of that tournament. Moving on to event number 84, the $600 Ultra Stack.
Sorry, Sherry. One other thing on that one. I was on mute. Scott Seaver up there in 5th place. So like hunting for his 4th bracelet of the year.
Wouldn't that be amazing? He would be the only one in history to do that.
Yeah, I have a friend near the top 2, Kenny Swing. I never know how to say his last name. Hsiung. I just call him Kenny. Known him for a long time. He has 200K in that event.
Hey, Kenny is good by me.
Yeah.
Event number 84 is the $600 Ultra Stack No Limit Tournament. Again, the numbers are crazy on that one, so I'm just going to say there are 283 left. Our chip leader from the U.S. is Michael Bell with 2.3 million. And second place, as far as chip stacks are concerned, is a Canadian, Lee Clark, who has 1.6 million in chips.
Excellent.
Very cool. I'm going to stop for a minute and welcome Paul to the speaker panel. You finally got to join us.
Yeah, I did promise that I'd turn up eventually. I mean, I've waited until I got back to London.
That's okay. Did you enjoy your stay in Vegas?
But this is a much more civilized time of day for me to be talking to you. So, hello.
Hello, you grumpy gits.
Paul, have you heard of the dead?
Donna, happy birthday.
Thank you, my darling.
Paul, have you heard of the dead possum move or something like this?
No.
Enlighten me.
I'm not sure.
You don't want to know.
Yeah. Okay.
Just don't want to know. It's just possums.
I don't know. I think we should hold her accountable and make her explain what that shit is now that she brought it up.
Let's wait till we have Sean McCormick back on.
I love that so much. Fats, your hand is up. Go ahead.
Yeah, I wanted to comment on Raj's stack. It's 355,000, and when they come back for the day 3, the blinds are going to be 1,000 and 2,500. So while he only has 100 and I think it's like 42 or 44 bigs, he has 355 smalls.
Thank you for that interpretation. I appreciate that. And, you're starting to fall into having to talk about it via.
He's going back
big
into that Dan Harrington red zone, orange zone stuff.
Rasha, good job, buddy.
Thanks, Sherry. On the numbers for the main event, did you hear anything about people still being able to register in day 2?
Yes. Yeah, they're going to register.
You can register day 2. Remember we were trying to get you to do that?
Okay, yeah, really. So that's probably what's going on with the numbers.
Yeah, but normally they put the numbers per flight, and those are usually correct. And for some reason, I don't know if they have somebody new doing it and they don't know that they're supposed to be doing it by flight, or if the new system is combining people that have pre-registered. I don't know. It's just different this year. There seems to be something going on differently this year.
Because I was looking at the numbers too and going, where is
so they looks like they're about 550 short of the record. So they need 550 late reg today to break the record from last year.
Which was 10,043, I believe.
Right. And
They're how many away, Raja?
550.
They'll get that.
They'll get that. Yeah, I agree.
Oh
with
yeah,
you.
they'll get that for sure.
They've got two levels. They've got two levels today to register, haven't they? I think.
2-hour levels. So
yeah, there's 4 hours. Basically, they have till 4:40 p.m. today to register. So
there you go. There you go.
For day one, Sherry, I got the number. So it's for the day one. Well, day one ABC, there were 4,400 entries. 3,100 made day 2. 1,550 made day 3.
Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Yeah, it's kind of goofy, and quite honestly, we got spoiled. Normally I pull it up, it's all there for me, and I just, write my notes from that, and I'm on my way. And quite honestly, I do enough for this that volunteer job that I'm not going to be, spending an hour trying to track those numbers down. Just not. Sorry,
you
you
got to
guys.
make it happen, Sherry. This is unexcusable.
Well, they didn't do any.
I'm just kidding.
Updates yesterday. Normally, they do updates of
I
hands.
know.
Yeah, they just completely just skipped yesterday. There must have been a.
I'm wondering if somebody has gone home and they don't
Maybe.
have that person, and so they're trying to, fill the blank, the spot, and they're just behind the eight ball. So, it is what it is. Things happen, right? So I just move on, and we just don't have those numbers until it's over, and who cares, really?
Well, I worked for Harris for the first 8.5 years of my career, and I do know some people over there. So what I'm going to try and do is get a hold of a couple of people over there and see what the bottom line is, what's going on, because that makes no sense. Normally they're right on top of it, and it doesn't make any sense.
Well, and the thing is, it's been good all summer, just a couple of days and it's just, I'm sure, things happen, right? But it just seems like the last, I would say, 4 or 5 days, it seems like maybe they've lost an employee or something. And so they just don't have enough manpower to get it in. And let's face it, you're trying to, process data for 5,000 entries or 4,000 entries, and, put in chip counts, and, it's a lot. So we just got to stay patient, and those numbers will come to us, and we'll review them, and it's going to be okay.
Well, yeah, it is, but it's the biggest tournament in the world, and it's normally run very, very efficiently. So there's a hiccup here somewhere, and I'll try to see if I can find the bottom of it. So,
well, appreciate that for sure. Okay,
I think it's just overwhelming, Sherry. Like
it's a lot.
The beginning of the tournament, when I talked to some of them about like why they don't do as good of like as they did back in 2003, 2002, where they had the storylines and stuff like that. It's because the field's just so enormous that
it's so big.
they can't even know who's going to have a stack or even be in at any time other than the day they're on, so it's hard to build storylines from that. So and I'm sure all the rest of the things are kind of similar with such a big field.
Right. No, I get it. And me needing to know the numbers isn't as important as them getting the taking care of those players that are still in it. So that's kind of where I'm at with that. I want to talk about player of the year numbers. Of course, Scott Seaver still in first place with 3,757. Jeremy Osmus has 3,368. Big Cooney has 2,817. Phil Ivey has 2,579. Sean Deeb has 2,423. Bryce Yockey has 2,361. Dean Eggs has 2,340. Chance Corneth has 2,334. Joseph Calden has 2,329. Victor Blom has 2,327. John Racenier has 2,320. And rounding off the top 12 is Robert Mizraki, and he has 2,299 points. So it's really anybody's game. There's still a few tournaments left, right? As well as the main event. So,
Right.
still some points out there to be had. It's going to be interesting to see how that all washes out. And, Brian, have you started working on that software to fix that for next year or what, dude? Turn your microphone on.
I'm not fixing nothing. I'm not even turning my microphone on at the right time. Why would I bother doing any software? I'm just kidding.
This could be your
The
in one.
plan is in 10 days from now to
Yeah.
win the World Series of Poker main event and then not do any software.
The rest of his life.
No, I'd probably still do software. I don't know. I would be bored doing nothing, but
I was just thinking that. I was like, that would last about a month. And
yeah.
then he would be, if two things, your wife would be like, find something to do because you're driving me crazy. Or
Yeah.
you would be like, I can't sit here anymore. I got to do something.
Yeah, I'd definitely be back in the streets somewhere.
Yeah, of course. Of course. All right. Should we go over the schedules today?
Sure.
All right. Go ahead. What happened? Did I miss something?
You said go ahead, and then there was silence from Brian.
All right, I'll go with the Orleans at 11 o'clock. The Mega Stack 40K guarantee, $400 buy-in. At 1600 hours at the Orleans is their horse tournament, 10K guarantee, $240 buy-in. At 1800 hours is their Super Stack 20K guarantee, $200 buy-in. Today is the last day of the MGM Summer Poker Festival / Moneymaker Tour Festival over at the MGM. 11 o'clock is their Grand Stack tournament, $300 buy-in, 25K starting stack, 25K guarantee. At 6 p.m. is the $240 double green chip bounty tournament, 10K guarantee, 25K starting stack. That's what's going on over at the MGM. Then at the Aria today is the 11 o'clock $800 PLO tournament. It is a $200,000 guarantee. So go over and see Sean and his staff over there. Brian?
So one thing on the updates that I'm reading through these updates, I think there was something wrong with the connection between the Poker News website and WSOP.com website yesterday, because all the update Kev Math put a link to the Poker News website, which has all the updates and things like that. So something went
Is
off
going
of
on.
the.
Okay, perfect. Thank you for
So
that.
there were updates. Anyway.
WSOP site was telling me the second day hadn't even started this morning. There was some sort of glitch on it. There was about 20 pages of updates, but only about 3 of them had any information. I don't know whether anybody else was getting that.
If only there was somebody that understood software and the ability to fix these things, that also might know something about poker too.
I know.
I mean, I went to the Poker News site and it was all there. So
perfect. All right, Brian, you have the win in the Venetian.
Of course I don't. I do not have
All right,
anything.
let me go.
I'm like on day 2, Sherry. Day 2 of that's the only thing that's going.
Message, dude, and I won't ask you.
That's the only thing going on
send
today.
me a message and say, hey, I don't have the only 2 things you've asked me to do this summer.
The only things that you were supposed to do.
12 o'clock is the No Limit 1B over at the Win. It is a $500 buy-in with 10-seat guarantee. At 1900 hours is a, wait a minute, did I do that right? Yes. Hold on a second. I need to, wait a minute. Let me look at this again, you guys.
I've got the updates, Sherry. Today in the WSOP main event, we've got Martin Jacobson 2 seats
Okay,
to my
time out.
right.
All right,
So we're going to
time
take
out.
all of his chips.
Wait, time out, Brian. I'm right in the middle of this. And the win is the 1B. It's a $2,200 buy-in. It is $2 million guarantee. Sorry about that. And then at $1,900 is the Milestone Satellite. It is a $500 buy-in and 10 seats. Over at the Venetian today at 11:10 is the $1,600 Ultimate Stack Day 1A. Looks like 1.5 million guarantee. At 12:10 is the $1,100 pot limit Omaha tournament, and that is 100K guarantee. Go ahead. What did you want to talk about?
I just was given the update today at the World Series of Poker at 12 o'clock noon. Software Brian will be taking all of Martin Jacobson's chips
Whoop, whoop.
and ending his main event. So that's
Such
the
a
plan for today.
crusher. Such a crusher. Crushing dreams over there, Brian.
And I might be talking some shit too. So
Maybe just a little.
that's usually
All right, the bracelet events at the WSOP today are as follows. 10 a.m. is the $1,000 no limit GG Poker Flip and Go Day 1. 12 p.m. is a 10K main event Day 2D. 12 p.m. is the $1,100  8-game Day 2. 2 p.m. is a $600 Alta Stack Flight B. 3:30 p.m. is a $1,000 online no limit championship tournament. Go ahead.
Sherry, I have a question about that. The Alta stack, is that sponsored by Ulta, the makeup store, or what's the
It
deal
may
with
be.
that?
It's ultra.
Oh, Ultra,
It's
okay.
ultra. Um, the non-bracelet events at the WSOP today. 8 a.m. is $1,100 no limit main event landmark. At 1 p.m. is a $250 deep stack. At 3 p.m. is the horse deep stack. At 3 p.m. is a $240 landmark for 2,000 in chips. At 4 p.m. is a $400 deep stack turbo. At 7 p.m. is a $580 eight-handed landmark. At 8 p.m. is a $200 deep stack turbo, and at 10 p.m. is a $135 landmark for 1,000 in chips. Donna, do you know what's going on at South
You
Point
realise
today?
you're killing me here, don't you? If you keep this up, I'm going to have to come back again.
Well, that's a good thing. That's a good thing to hear. I love that. Donna, do you know what's going on at South Point?
I do know what's going off at South Point. Monday's daily tournament at South Point is the 10:05 100 no limit 10,000 guarantee. At 2:05 is the $100 no limit Hold'em Turbo Bounty 3,000 guarantee. At 6:05 is the 100 no limit $7,500 guarantee. 10:05 is our nightly lovely tournament with great crusty regulars is the $100 no limit turbo 2,000 guarantee. But I will say this, the Tournament of Champions ended yesterday. So good luck to all those that are in the Tournament of Champions to be played on the 11th of July. So I'm looking forward to those results and see who wins.
And just an FYI, that schedule at South Point is through July the 14th. So they'll be revamping to something new after that.
Donna, you teacher's pet having your whole thing together there.
Brian, you're so fucking hilarious.
What do you think? It's your birthday or something?
What is my birthday?
29 today, right?
I am.
29th birthday, yes.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, Monday at the Golden Nugget is their 11 a.m. $700 5-card PLO / Big O tournament. And at 8 p.m. is their $150 daily deep stack. Over at the Sahara Poker Room today is their 12 o'clock $60 no limit Texas Hold'em tournament. At 4 p.m. is their Omaha tournament $60 buy-in. At 8:30 today is their $60 no limit tournament, and they're all $500 guarantees. So that's what's going on around Vegas today. If you're playing, let us know how that's going, you guys. Brian's playing today.
Let's go. Yeah,
Let's go.
you know what's funny? The other day, so this guy that gave me the epic Phil Hellmuth, I was telling the table, if Phil Hellmuth wasn't already a junior, he would definitely be the Phil Hellmuth junior. But anyway, what's funny, Sherry? I'm talking to my friend. I don't know if you know him, Jesse Caps. He used to have a "Make Poker Great Again" was his whole thing, and he's super positive, cool, funny guy. And I'm talking to him, and this guy from my table that gave me the rant walks up, and he didn't see me standing there at first, and then I was like, "Hey, buddy," and I guess he knows Jesse. He's like, "Sorry about that. Like, I just get kind of
Oh,
passionate." And I'm just like, I thoroughly enjoyed it. It was so much fun. So
yeah, talking crap and not.
anytime your opponents are telling you how terrible you are, that is like music to the ears. It's a lot of fun.
I
Good
love it.
morning, Mr. Miami John, Poker Hall of Fame nominee. Actually, I should say Poker Hall of Fame nominee, Miami John.
Hey,
Good
John,
morning.
how are you?
Hi, John.
Click the red microphone button in the bottom left-hand corner, like I always forget.
Hello.
There you are. You got it.
How are you,
Got it.
John?
I'm good. Thank you for all those extra surnames. I appreciate it. Um,
Absolutely.
I
And
have to. I have to.
you're
My sister joined on. I see her face on there. My lovely sister Elaine from Daytona Beach. So I wanted to say hi because every time I come on, she says you never mentioned me. So I'm mentioning her now.
well, welcome, Elaine. I'm so glad you joined us. And you're
It's
always
it's
welcome.
it's Daytona Beach, Elaine, Sherry.
Yes.
Well, John, we see I made a, I know you just joined us, but I was talking about you making it into day two of that 8 game mixed tournament. You want to tell us about how that's going?
Yeah, it went pretty well yesterday. I only had a couple of, would you say, slip slides where I really had the way the best of it and lost it on the river a couple times. But other than those two times, it went pretty smooth. Got involved in a one really big pot where, when you're playing PLO and you get aces, you're always at risk of being eliminated. And the chip leader called my re-raise of like 25,000 on top of 13. So it was a pretty big pot. And we had one guy all in. And but luckily, the flop was two deuces and an ace, so I flopped aces full. So, it would look too hokey to check there. I know it's a big hand. If I had position, I would have probably checked behind him, but I was out front, so I thought, well, maybe he'll have an ace king or I'll get a little action. So I made a bet and he folded. And the other guy, all in, he had two jacks, a queen, but he did hit the case deuce. So, but he didn't hit the fourth deuce to get the quad, so I won that pot, and that got me out of chip trouble. So I'm above average today. I go in about. I'm going to leave here in about 45 minutes to play day two. It'll be exciting, and there's only 25 players left to get into the money, so could be another cash. We'll see.
I love that. Good job, John. Congrats on that.
Thank you very
Let's
much.
go. Let's go.
And after you win that one, what are you going to play?
Well, I still have doctor issues, and it's getting closer and closer. So I don't know. Depends on the doctors what they tell me. I need a surgery, so we'll see when they get their heads together. And once that's established, then I'm going to go to Los Angeles and have that done. So
Okay.
I might not play another one after this,
All
unless
right.
it's a small one around town, and I have maybe a week or so before surgery. We'll see.
Okay. Very good. Very good indeed. And I don't think it's going to be much longer before they announce, who's being inducted.
Yeah, I don't know exactly when. I believe it's
I think
probably
it's during the final table or something, or that the day of or something.
that late. Okay, yeah, it
I
could
I
be.
thought it was a couple days before that, but
is it
yeah,
okay?
I could be wrong. I could be making that up, but I thought it was a couple days before that, and maybe they do something around the final table time. I don't know. I'll look it up. We'll figure it out though for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, no one's called me so far, so we'll see.
I hope they don't. I hope they call you, John. I've been in the business 25 years. I've been retired now for 6 years, and if anybody deserves to be in the Hall of Fame, it's you. And I
Well,
really hope that you finally get this honor because you deserve it.
no, well, thank you very much. Thank you for the kind words. I appreciate it.
That deserves this for sure.
All
I
right.
can't think of anybody more deserving. We all know that Matt Savage is deserving as well, and there are others very deserving. But honestly, John, nobody can compare to your record. Come on.
Well, thank you very much. We'll see. Like I said, the body of work is there, and I'll put in the time, and we'll see how it goes.
Right
Well,
on.
just get, like you said before, just getting nominated, and then we'll see how it goes. But just being, I mean, it's got to be a dream come true, kind of, to just even be in the discussions and all of that. Like, I mean, it's a huge honor, and hopefully you get there. Like,
Yeah.
it's be great.
So it is a huge honor, and it's not something I've dreamt about my whole life, but it's been in the forefront the last couple of years, and my friends, my family, all want this for me. It'll be great if it happens, and I won't be that
That,
disappointed
yeah,
if it doesn't. I had people like James Woods speaking out for me, Peaches, of course, who else? Norman Chad, a lot of good names, good people, are going to bat for me. So I appreciate it, and
it's
I'll do it.
great
I'll do it for them. I really appreciate their love and their support. That's my
for
message.
sure. Yeah,
Well, you are more than welcome. And, you know, it's the least I can do because it's long overdue. And if I can shed light on that, by golly, I'm going to shed light on that, John.
Oh, God bless you. Well, thank you.
You bet. Go ahead, Fats.
Hey, Miami. To
Yo,
see you and hear you, that you're still cashing like a champ. I definitely would love to see you win this, especially over Matt Savage. Not that Matt Savage is not deserving, but he still has that big stain on his record for destroying 7 card stud as we know it by getting rid of the double bet on 4th Street. And until he
jeez.
fixes that, I don't think he's going to ever. I don't think he can outrun you.
well, he's not getting any votes from stud players. That's for sure.
Poor Matt.
Matt, he was giving Matt so much crap, John.
Yeah, I go by
Oh my gosh.
if it's not broke, don't fix it. And why they had to do that, I'll never understand. But what can I say?
And Matt, he had his perfect explanation of why and all that. But like
There's not
Pat's is
one
like
stud player that I know that agreed with him.
What do you?
It's been part of their strategy for since aces and eights, the dead man's hand came along. I mean, that's a long time.
wow. Yeah.
So
John, what he's
it's
trying to
crazy.
do, I broke it down. What he's really trying to do is the young players didn't know, so he's basically changed the rule, and eventually all the old players that knew the old rule will all be dead and gone, and then it'll seem normal to everybody else. That's what he's trying to do. He's really changed
Yeah,
it, and then he's waiting us all out to die.
I remember a few years ago, I was talking to Jack Eiffel at the series, and he was sitting there in the thinking man's position on his chair. I said, "What's up, Jack?" He says, "Can't believe these stud numbers are getting lower every year." I said, "Jack, it's called attrition. We're getting older every year. They're passing by the wayside. So, you know, I hope I solved Jack's problem there, but that's pretty much it. It's just kind of a dying game, a dead game, and it's just not played. It used to be. I guess it's still played on the East Coast. They spread it at Foxwoods and New Jersey, but I don't know where anywhere else they do. It's sad.
Yeah, it's kind of funny, like thinking back how, on TV, Hold'em just became kind of the thing, and a lot of these other games, I mean, are obviously like distant second
Yeah, thank you, Chris Moneymaker.
to all that.
Yeah, yeah.
They made up that guy's name like that. There's no way. Somebody had a theory like that they somehow rigged the end so that he would win, so there would be a poker boom. I don't know. I don't know if
Oh
Yeah.
my
that's true.
gosh.
You don't have to be a Native American to have a name like that. I mean, there have those names like Stands with Fix,
Yeah.
Stands with Fix, Walks with Wolves, Moneymaker. I don't know.
That's hilarious. Oh my gosh. Well, this is out to Elaine, John's sister, who's in the goo listening. If you'd like to come up and tell us any stories about your brother that we may
Oh,
not know,
really
Whoa.
embarrassing
we
ones would
would,
be
yeah.
great.
Embarrassing ones would be our favorite. So you're
Oh
more than
my God.
Yes.
welcome. Just hit the request button in the bottom left of your telephone screen, and we can bring you up to speak to us. But
She has a few of them, I'm sure.
That's too funny.
oh, we love to have fun, John. And I'm glad you joined us today, bud.
Hello.
Hey,
Hello.
hey, can you hear me, John?
Yeah, now I can.
Okay, perfect. No worries, no worries. So, John, tell me, or tell our audience, what is your routine, sort of like the morning of going to play a day two? So, what have you been doing this morning?
Well, I always have my 2 cups of coffee, before I can really do anything. And then my daughter gets up to go to work, and I usually fix her breakfast if I can. But today she beat me to it. She had a Jimmy Dean sausage sandwich. So she's waiting for her bus. The bus comes and picks her up. And nothing much. I mean, I don't read anything about poker. I don't go over any notes or anything like that. I just play hand by hand and hope to get the best hands when I get there. I do go to Starbucks, have myself a latte, anything to relax my mind, take it away from the game, and then it's all focus once I get there.
Okay, I have another question for you because this seems to be a hot topic. Some people like to look up the list of players that are at their table. Is that something you like to do, or consider doing, or ever doing, or
That's
ever
the
have done?
smart thing to do. I occasionally do it. I don't do it all the time. Um, so it usually works for you, but sometimes it can work against you because you think a guy plays a certain way, and then you find out that was only a random sample, and he plays a different way. So I don't like too many surprises. But if somebody has a lot of chips, I will look to see if he has if he's an Omaha player or just a Hold'em player. If all his critics are in Hold'em, then I would be more obliged to attack his slides during the Omahas and the studs. But if he's a really good Hold'em player, I'll stay away from him.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. And I'm always curious about that because everybody has their own method, right? I don't look up the players I'm playing against. I want to see what's going to happen at the table when I get there, and what the cards are doing. So, but there are people that study who their opponents are before they go play, and hats off to
Yeah.
them too because that's the way they feel most comfortable, right?
Yeah, I think
So,
it's more beneficial in No Limit Hold'em because there's so much that you have to do with your reads and
right,
reading people's patterns and things like that. So to get a one up on them, it's like having information online when you make notes on players. It's the same type of thing. Oh, I
right,
remember this guy. He came at me with a 6 high, and so that's the kind of guy you can pay off. But if you don't know that kind of player, you don't look up the stats, then it's a problem. Now in the limit game, it's not so much of a problem because you're only facing one or two bets, and then you just make the decision based on your hand and a little bit of the read on the player, but that you've got that read during the process of the hand, not prior to the hand. By looking up information.
right,
But I think it
right.
helps more so in the hold'em categories than it does in the limit categories.
Well, thank you for those comments. Go ahead, Fats.
Yeah, the thing I look for in those are if I look up the table, I'm mainly concerned about just seeing how my chip stack is compared to everybody else's at the table. Not so much who's who, but how my stack is, and if I'm middle, if I'm the top one or two, or the bottom one or two, or something like that. That's kind of the main thing I'm looking for.
Okay.
Yeah,
Thank you for those
stack,
comments.
yep, stack size matters. That's for sure.
I appreciate that glimpse into your thought processes, gentlemen. Appreciate that for sure. Software Brian's going into day 2 of the main event today, John.
Hi, David. I'm sorry?
I said software's going into day 2 of the main event today.
Oh, well, congratulations. What kind of a stack does he have?
100K. I have 100K.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the average is what? About 80, 90?
Yeah, probably. I
Oh,
haven't looked. I don't know that they've posted it because they've been kind of weird on the numbers of how many left and
uh-huh.
stuff like that. So
Well, good luck with it. Not any major tips I can give you, but I do know this from the times I used to play the main event is when you push on them for all their chips, they usually don't come. So unless you run into a set or aces or kings pre-flop,
right,
they
yeah,
really really respect the when their tournament life is at stake. They usually fold. So of course, you probably weren't in the quads. Now that I said that, no, I hope I hope not. But anyway,
I hope
pick
I
your
have quads
pick
and
your
they
spots.
call
Yeah,
instead.
pick your spots carefully, and you know, play by your reads as well as your cards.
I think the biggest thing is to have, when after a couple of years of bubbling the main, I kind of got down to realizing that the entire tournament was coming down to like these big confrontations, and it's like that's not the way to 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 survive in the main event and to make it to the end, if you're just able to get in there and everything comes down every time to a coin flip, every day, winning a couple coin flips, it's like you are going to go broke pretty
Yeah,
fast.
well,
So
just be careful when as long as you're not the true short stack with like two blinds or less, and you're on the bubble. Just be
yeah,
patient and don't play. It's a big swing to get into the, you know, to make
yeah,
some cash. It's a good statistic to have in your portfolio, and it's also an extra 12,000 or whatever in your pocket. I had a
yeah,
funny story. I used to be before he passed away, very good friends with Mike Sika, alias the Little Man, in New Jersey, and he had 33% of me in this tournament, and
yeah,
the bubble was were being played, and it's an $8,500 bubble. Now that's pretty good. And I looked
right,
out, and I was, not in great shape, but so they finally announced you're all in the money, no problem. So I said, oh, that's good. And then all of a sudden, a guy sitting on the rail announces to the table who just busted the last guy that he says, "Isn't that a split pot?" And they looked at the board, and yeah, the guy, he had the worst kicker, but the board was higher kicker than both of them. So we
oh
had to
geez,
reassemble and play. Now I was probably the 15th from the bottom. There were guys who really, matter of fact, the guy who made the bubble made it with one chip.
oh
And
geez,
David Williams busted a guy who had over 400,000
oh
on
shoot,
that hand. I know. But I had gotten up and left, and my friend Mike, the little man, says, What are you doing?" I said, after we're supposed to be in the money. I mean, I don't want to sound superstitious, and now we're not. You expect me to go play a hand, and I'm going to be the one that goes to bubble. He says, "So well, suppose you get pocket queens." I said, "That's the problem. I might get pocket queens, and we'll be out of money." So
yeah,
I walked the bubble. I mean, I kept my eye on the table and everything, but I didn't play a hand, and that happened. I think I had 15,000 left, and there's a guy with one chip. I wasn't going to play any hands. That's very good strategy. Even if you have aces, somebody moves in. It's rough when you get them beat.
yeah,
I probably wouldn't throw aces away, but people have done it, and they say in some situations it's the right play. I don't know. That's
yeah,
up for debate, um,
yeah,
but we all made the money. It was 8,000, and I went on to come in 30, maybe 25th, 26th place. No, I'm sorry. I came in 14th, I think. It was the WPT main event. So, playing the bubble carefully is, a very, very good strategy. So
Yeah,
good luck to you when you get there again.
Mike was a pretty special guy for sure.
Oh, you knew Mike. Good. Yeah, he was. He was a sweetheart. Never had a bad word to say about anybody, and just as
He was just always positive.
And the good thing about Mike is if you ever needed a toothpick, he was right there. He had a big jar of toothpicks sitting at the table.
Yeah.
Can you think? I can't think of a better ambassador for the world of poker than Mike Sexton was.
No, Mike
To me,
Sika.
he.
Wrong guy.
Yeah.
Well, I was
But
trying to pivot to something else, but thank you.
Yeah, that is Mike Sexton was a great ambassador. I agree.
And I was reading some tweets earlier today, and I was like, these folks need to take a lesson from Mike Sexton. Like, let's get a little more classy with what we're tweeting, please.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for sure. Mike Sexton, like he I remember he walked in the room, John, at I was playing a super satellite for the WPT 25K championship.
Yeah.
And he walked in the room with this guy, the Italian Stallion, and Mike just like he like the whole room stopped. We were playing the tournament and he's telling these stories about the Italian Stallion and all this stuff, and it was
Italian
just
Stallion was
weird.
a funny guy. He really was. He was a little bit on the crazy side for sure.
Yeah.
You know that guy on ESPN, Mad somebody? He's always yelling and screaming at the cameras on ESPN on First Take.
Oh, yeah, I can't remember his name.
Yeah, he's a baseball handicapper. He's really good, but he does his skit. He's very, very funny. That's
Mad Dog.
exactly Mad Dog. That's exactly what the Italian Stallion could have been called. He could have been called Mad Dog because he just had a million stories. And if he busted you, it was unmerciful. His favorite expression was "report to the rail."
Report to the rail. I think that's what Mike was telling us.
Yep.
Yeah. Report to the rail.
Yeah. His name was John.
Brian, if you don't use that line
I'm
today, I'll be
stealing it.
so disappointed in
I'm
you.
stealing it. Although,
Yes.
John, I was telling them the other day I had a drunk guy and I was needling him the whole day, but like with drunk guys, you got to be careful
Oh
because
yeah.
I don't want the guy jumping over the table and trying to beat me down there in the middle of a World Series event. So he says to the table, we're getting to level 9, and he says, I've never been to level 9. My goal has always been to make it to level 9. And sure enough, I bust him during level 9, and that was all I could do to not say, I'm so grateful that I helped you accomplish your goals.
Brian. Some things are better left unsaid. Let's bring
I just
Barry up
zipped it.
here and see what he has to say. Hey, Barry.
Hey, how's it going? Hey, John, what's going on? How you feeling?
Hey, I'm doing good. Feel great. Can't wait to get back in there at noon. I don't have much more time to talk, but certainly want to listen to my buddy Barry. Go ahead.
Good luck in day 2. Have you looked ahead to see like the next stop on the tour? Are you going to be out there? Are you going to still be playing?
Well, the Golden Nugget put up a bunch of $700 buy-ins, all mixed games. They had a Big O, they had a horse, Deuce to 7. I don't know what they have today, but they have about 3 or 4 more. So if I get eliminated today, I will probably play there tomorrow. That's about all that's going on around town. Everything's kind of shutting down in the mixed game department.
Yeah, in the first 2 weeks of August, they got the Seven Hard Rock in Florida, and then in September they restart in the Borgata follow.
Yeah.
So there's a lot coming. Plan on going out or rest
No,
up?
well, my daughter and I usually take a vacation in August to go to Daytona to be with my sister. And then I always drive down to the Hard Rock and play there for about 10 days. Play as many mixed games as I can, then go back to Daytona. But this year I'll be post-surgery at that time, so I'm not going to be there.
Sounds good. Good luck today.
Thank you, buddy.
All right, just so that you know what's going on over at the Nugget tomorrow is the OE at 11 a.m. And then on Wednesday is the Torse, that's TORSE at 11 a.m. And then Thursday is the PLO 8 at 11 a.m. And
Nice.
then Friday is Omaha 8 at 11 a.m. And then at 11 a.m. on Saturday will be their 7-game mixed main event.
That's sensational. That's really good for the mixed game players. I understand from the floor man there. I was there for the horse a couple days ago, and they did their homework and they got Alan Kessler and John Turner to send him a schedule. He came in at midnight. He put it in the next day, and off they went with the schedule. It's a really good schedule, and the structure's good, and it's friendly down there. It's a nice place to play. We got for the horse, we had like 82 players. Wasn't bad.
Nice.
$14,000 for first place. I raised one pot with the 8-9 of diamonds. I got called by the 6-3 of diamonds and limit hold'em, and I flopped a straight 5, 6, 7. And at the end of the hand, he had 4 6s. So
Oh
that's
my
that's
gosh.
pretty. I know a straight against middle pair, but
Oh
that
my
hand and another
gosh.
hand got me, and I was out the door. I missed the money by I think 8 players. But that's poker. That's the game we play. That's why we love it so much, right?
Right
Yeah.
on.
And if you let Alan Kessler do the schedule and the structures, then he's probably not going to complain about your schedule or structures on social media.
He shouldn't be complaining about structures if he fixed it, but you never know about Alan.
But
Uh,
never accept a chicken sandwich from him, John. That's taking your life in your own hands.
I
Okay.
didn't say that. Email softwarebrian@yahoo.com, people.
I
Software
don't know what that means, but I can imagine.
Crazy.
There's always a chance that the sandwich has been in the glove compartment for 2 weeks.
Yes.
Yeah.
Alan's been very, very instrumental on also getting the word out on Miami
Yeah.
John Hall of Fame. He's been really plugging away. He wanted me to get the nomination pretty bad. So
Absolutely.
kudos to Alan also.
I'm a
Absolutely.
huge Alan fan. Like I've always liked the guy. I even like the quirkiness of how he is sometimes, all of it. So,
I
but
don't
if he does tell you that the sandwich is still hot, Barry, like, you
mm,
know, it's because it's been warm out in Vegas. So,
oh
Because it's
Lord.
115 in the
Yeah.
glove box. I
it's
didn't say that.
still hot.
Brian did.
I love
Listen,
Alan.
I think we should still talk about. We didn't get to all the people moving on in the main event. So we have Software Brian. We have Zach has 48K. Chirp has 57K. Jim from Rec Poker has 30K. Kieran has 43K. Ruben has 17K. Slay has 55K. I believe Isaac is registering to play today on day 2. Cody has 155K. Ash Kardash has 12K. Mel Pudog has 106K. Kessler has 22K. Nikki P has 75K. Ari Engel 209K. Rob Kuhn 231K. Alec Torelli 196K. Mike DeMouth 192K. So if anybody has anyone else they want to add to the list, let me know. I also need to give a little shout out to Flow Junkie um, because I didn't know this, and I thought, well, maybe I'm not the only one that didn't know this. He got to play in the main event because he won a satellite that he played in. The satellite was a $20 buy-in, and he won a main event seat. So kudos to Flow Junkie for winning that main event seat for $20.
Let's go. I got him beat though, Sherry. I won one year for $15.50.
That's awesome.
That's
Love
probably
it.
a record.
And in the main event, I lost $15.50 that year.
Well,
Well, if you would
sadly,
So
have if you would have cashed, that'd have been a nice parlay. Wow.
yeah.
right. Sadly, Flow Junkie is already out of the main event, but good job, buddy.
Oh,
Good job. Good game. Way to get yourself there and give yourself the
Get
opportunity.
yeah, get to take a moonshot there.
Well, you guys will excuse me. I need to get ready and go to the horseshoe. So
Hey,
you all
John, good luck,
have a
buddy.
nice
And
day. Thank you for all the lovely comments, and wish me luck. Take care.
good luck, bud.
Yeah, good luck, John.
Take care, John. Sending you my birthday rungo.
Okay, we never heard from my sister, so I guess she couldn't find the microphone either. Take care,
That's
guys.
okay. We'll get her up here one of these days, Elaine.
Okay. All
We're
right.
not
Bye.
going to let John off the hook without some good stories about his childhood.
Oh
Sure.
yeah, for
Thank
sure.
you. Thank you.
Thanks,
Bye bye.
John. Bye.
So, hey, Sherry, I just have one thing. My son just called me. He was talking about how his aces got cracked the second hand before the end of the night. But
Oh,
and I'm going to tell you something else about that. You're talking about knowing who's on your table. And Eric's a grinder. You know, he plays a lot. He's a cash game guy. And he's had a good year in tournaments because he studies very hard. And last 2 years ago, when he played his first time in the main event, again, it was two hands from the end of the first night, and he had a ton of chips, and he had what did he have? He had pocket kings, of course, you know, and he didn't know who this guy was across. He knew he was some kind of a pro, but he didn't. Normally, Eric knows who's at the table. You know,
right.
he looks to see. Well, it was Alex Livingston, and
Oh,
he thinks, you know, and my take on it too is if he knew who he was, he probably would have gotten away from his kings because Livingston flopped a set of jacks.
fucking jacks.
Yes. And so Eric's here with the pocket kings. If he had known who this guy was, I think at that point he might have gotten away from his kings and still would have gone on to day two. Then had enough chips to go to day two, you know, because it was again the
Right.
second hand before the day was over. And
No, I get it. Last year in the ladies' event up at Harris Cherokee, I am second chip leader at the table, and we are on the bubble. And I have pocket aces that get cracked by pocket fives.
oh man, that's killer.
Yeah,
Oh.
it was, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, but I'm going to welcome Elaine, and I can't help but notice that she waited till John left the room, which means these are going to be good stories.
Oh
Welcome,
yeah.
Elaine, and I'm glad you're letting us pop your Spaces cherry this afternoon. How are you? Just press that microphone button in the bottom left, and we'll be able to hear you. Elaine, if you are on a computer, you have to rejoin us on a telephone. We will give her a few minutes to figure that out. So go ahead, Brian.
I am just about to get ready and finish up here and head out in a little while. Probably
Did you end up
probably
playing
about an hour.
yesterday or what? I saw you went to
Heck
Roma
no.
Deli.
No, I did nothing yesterday. I moved hotels. I'm back in the hotel with the good beds. Mom and I have a gigantic suite, 2 bedrooms with a living room, full kitchen and everything. And of course we're not a high roller, so we don't get comped. So we gotta find the special deals on that
Right,
kind of stuff.
right,
So because this room would be
right.
uh absurdly priced in most occasions, but we have our sneaky like little ways. So yeah.
Sounds like software Brian's up to no good, but we're going to let him slide. Go ahead, Fats.
You know, I saw that tweet Brian had about the Roma Deli, and I used to always like the Roma Deli, and um, you know, in fact, then found out Todd Brunson took it over or whatever, which I always thought that was cool. But how do they let Max Pescatori own a piece of that place instead of just deporting the guy?
I don't know enough about him. So
Instead of just yeah, they should deport pirates, right? Oh
Max Pescatori ought to be deported. He shouldn't even be allowed in this country.
wait. That's Barry's a pirate too, so we don't want him deported.
I don't know
You,
any details of which you speak, so sorry.
Well, he did something in the tournament once that basically got me blinded out of the tournament for something that was ridiculous.
Oh, do tell us
Yeah.
now. Come
oh,
on, Fats.
he's he's one of my favorite people now, Fats. I'm just kidding.
I was we were at the Commerce day 2, and I got a guy raises in front of me, and I call with pocket tens, and the flop comes 10, 6, 4 with 2 diamonds. And the guy looks at my stack and he throws eight $5,000 chips into the pot. And he, which basically, I got to make a decision to go all in. Well, so I got the best hand. I assume he's on a flush draw with like ace something suited. And I said, well, I got to call. I got to take the chance. So he throws the 40,000 chips in. I say, okay, I call. Hey, Jay, why are they barking over there? Hang on one second.
This is epic,
There's
Sherry.
the guy with like
Squirrels.
101 Dalmatians as
I'm
his,
I'm so
his
lost
picture.
that the dog barking in the background is
All
made
right,
the whole thing.
so the flop came 10, 6, 4, 2 diamonds. He bets, throws in eight $5,000 chips, which appears to put me all in. I say I call. We both turn over our cards, and he's got like ace jack offsuit and gets a king on the turn and a queen on the river. Now, so I take that gut shot, and now as I'm going to pay him, it turns out I had a little over 40,000. So there was technically no all. I wasn't really all in, and so they ruled that the extra money, because he just bet and I said call, so I get to keep the extra 2 or 3,000, and I'm still
As you
alive with the
should.
2
Right.
or 3,000. Okay, fine. Now the dealer, after the floor comes over and makes that ruling, picks up all the cards, shuffles them up, and is about to deal. And then Max Pescatori says, wait a minute. He should get a penalty for exposing his cards before the action was done.
What?
That's right. And he calls the floor back over now after all the cards have been picked up, and it's a different floor person. And after everything's been picked up, so the whole context of what happened is gone. And the floor person says, well, ask the dealer, well, did he turn over his cards when he still had chips? And the dealer says yes. And they give me a 1-round penalty which essentially ends up blinding me out of the tournament.
But
Wow.
was the dealer shuffling when that happened?
The cards had all been picked up. I don't recall. He hadn't dealt. Nothing had been dealt for the next hand.
But he was shuffling though, correct?
Yeah, but here's I don't recall. I couldn't say for sure.
If he was shuffling, they could not go back on the ruling prior. They could not. That was. I've been in the business a long time. If he was in the motion of shuffling the cards, action's complete. Everything's done. They couldn't. That was wrong of them to go back and make another ruling.
No, my issue is if Max would have said something earlier, then what should have happened is it's a premature river card.
Correct.
And then I should get a redraw on the river card,
Burn
and
a turn.
and we should bet the turn, and then I should have a redraw on the river card, which I didn't get. Instead, I basically get blinded out of the tournament because Max Pescatori is a no good, rotten scoundrel,
Yeah, he played the odds.
and he deserves to be, and he deserves to he should either refund my $10,000 buy-in, or he should be deported.
It makes
a
me
little bit salty.
it makes
Italy
me
doesn't
want to
want him back
go.
either. So
They have breakfast today, Sundays and Mondays at Roma Deli. Makes me want to head over there and
And support Max. Brian is
Fats, you
really
broke the
pushing in
number
those
one
swords.
rule.
Hatchets.
Yeah, Fats broke the number one rule though, Sherry, and I can't believe you let him get away with it. Any sentence that starts with "and the flop came" is banned from this space, isn't it?
Oh yeah. It's unless it's Brian saying it.
Well, wait a
Yeah,
minute.
well,
Well,
of
Or
course.
me.
You have to be
I mean,
co-host. Host or co-host.
this wasn't an and the flop came on a story where a guy played deuce 7.
No, any and the flop came story is just never any. You're not headed into something good.
I don't know about that. I still think I think Max Pescatori ought to be deported. That's what I.
So funny.
I remember.
Elaine, let's try
I
to give Elaine a chance here, you guys.
Oh
Elaine, are
yeah.
you there?
I'm here.
There we,
Hey, welcome to our space.
Thank you.
You got some stories you want to share about John?
Well, first of all, I have two brothers, but he is just not that he's my best brother, but he is the best brother. Just he's just so wonderful. I just love him to death. But I do have a funny story. When my parents we're going back years and years ago when they were younger, um, they used to play poker, family poker, and Johnny would be in the high chair. Of course, this was before I was even born, but I've heard the story. Johnny would be in the high chair and he would start acting up. So, what they would do to make him be still is to take a crab leg and put it on his little table in front of him, and he would not move the rest of the night.
That's hilarious.
I know. Well, funny story. I just love that story.
Does he still eat crab legs till today?
Oh, yeah. He loves them.
That's awesome.
that's great.
Yeah.
That's
Now, do you play poker, Elaine?
Well, if you ask my brother, he'd say no, she doesn't, because I'm not very good. But no, I don't. Live in
Well,
Florida, you know.
right. Well, I'm so glad you joined us today. And for those of you just tuning in, this is John Cernuto, Miami John's sister, Elaine. So I'm glad you joined us today. Barry, do you know Elaine?
No, we never met.
Barry is a friend of John's as well, Elaine, just an FYI, in the poker world.
Oh, cool, cool. Very cool. It's nice to meet you, Barry.
Yeah, very nice to meet you.
Hopefully, one of these days I'll get out to Vegas. I haven't been out there in a few years, but I just wanted to share that with you.
Well, I'm so glad you did. And I thought it was funny that you requested right after John left. I was like, oh, I like her already. She's waiting to spill the beans after he leaves.
yeah, you can, if John and I get at a table ever again, like I need to order some crab legs. Like out of the blue.
Yeah, and put it next to him
Just
so he
be,
won't move.
just be like, you calm down over there. Don't be attacking my blind, sir. Just kidding.
Let him get distracted eating crab, and you could just wallow on
Yeah.
his wallop on his chip stack. I like it.
Well,
I love that.
well, thank you. It was great talking to you. Sorry it took me a while to figure out how to get on here.
That's okay. I'm glad you joined us today, and you're always welcome. Um, the first time you come into space, it's a lot to absorb for sure. So, um, no worries. We're glad you joined us today.
Well, thank you so much. And I'll tell Johnny, I call him Johnny. I'll tell Johnny that I got on finally. He'll bust my chops about that, I'm sure.
And you shared baby pictures and all kinds of embarrassing things.
Yeah.
I love that so much.
Funny about his baby pictures, he tells this story. I'm ashamed, but my mom and dad had gone to a professional photographer, took all these beautiful pictures of Johnny when he was little. He must have been like, I don't know, 3 or 4. They were precious. Well, I must have got mad at him. I took black crayon and colored all over his face.
Oh,
I was a rotten sister.
That's funny.
Yeah.
I'm all about the pictures, so I would have been devastated as a mom.
I'm sure she was.
I would have been devastated.
Oh, I can't believe I did that. It's horrible. But next time you talk to John, ask him about the blacked out pictures of him.
Oh
That's
my
too
goodness.
funny.
That's hilarious. And we all did stupid shit when we were small. I mean, come on.
Yeah, true. That was really stupid of me. But anyway, he's a great guy, and I really appreciate you talking so good about him and trying to promote him for the World Series Hall of Fame. Not the World Series, the Hall of Fame. And
Well, thank you for those kind words.
yeah.
Yeah, he's a special guy and definitely deserves it. So hopefully he gets in. And like I said, if not, like just being nominated and being in the mix is such a huge thing. So you can't get there if you're not nominated. Hopefully that he gets through, because he definitely deserves it and meets all the criteria and all of that. So
Thank you guys. You two are great.
Well, thank you. And fingers crossed, right? All I could do is bring it up and promote it and get people to get to know your brother and his accomplishments, and hopefully that's enough to get him the nod and the induction. And nothing would make me happier this year than to see your brother get into the Hall of Fame.
Oh, thank you. I know he appreciates you.
Well, thank you for those kind words, because we think it's long overdue. So, if we played a small part in making that happen, nothing would make me happier.
Good. Okay. Thank you guys.
Thank you, Elaine.
Okay.
Appreciate you.
Okay, honey. Bye-bye.
Bye. And I appreciate everybody that's listening. And I know software, you need to get yourself ready for big day 2, because you got to come home with a bag of 1.5 million.
that's the plan. That's the plan. Bag up 1.5 and cruise into day 3. So we'll see how that goes today.
I love that.
I mean, even 1.2, Sherry, would be pretty good. So we'll see. Between 1.2 and 1.5, that's the target. And
I love it.
Get a couple bounties along the way. So
love it. Well, I wish you well, my friend, and enjoy every minute of the process.
yeah, thank you. Really appreciate you.
you.
Have a great day, everybody.
Thank you.
Go on then, bugger off.
Happy birthday, girl.
Good luck, Brian. Happy birthday,
Sending,
pal.
Yep. Good
Yeah,
luck,
happy
Brian.
birthday, Donna.
thank you,
Thank you, everybody. Appreciate it.
sending you my birthday run, good mate.
Let's go.
Let's
Now go for it.
go. Thank you, everybody that's listening, and those that will listen to the recording. I appreciate you as well. Have a good day, everybody.
You too.
Thanks. Bye.
Thank you.